Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we are doing the Shrine of Secrets review for the 5th of October 2022. I believe this shrine has been picked by the community because there's currently like a community choice event going on. If you log in every day you get blood points and stuff like that. But they also mentioned that the shrine would be chosen by the community, and judging by the perks I can definitely say that it has been. It looks like it's going to be fun to cover, so let's do that. First of all, we have Hex and Dying, which is a blight perk. This one I've talked about before, but basically it's a totem that will protect other hex totems. Say if you use this with Ruin, if they cleanse the totem that would be Ruin, and Dying will take its place, and it will sacrifice itself, and Ruin will stay up. It also has a bonus feature of revealing the auras of survivors who are within 4 meters of any dual totem, which I think that part's really underrated. I feel like people don't talk about that part a lot. There's no limit range on that or anything. If they're like hiding behind a wall and they're next to a dual totem, or if they're on a gen that's next to a dual totem, you'll just see their aura. As long as Undying is up, you'll just see their aura constantly. And that's great, because that can happen right at the start of a match. You know, there's 5 totems in a map. You're bound to get some value from that as long as Undying stays up for that long. This perk's a really good failsafe because totems can get cleansed really early on, which is a shame. And I feel like having this, which has this one will get cleansed, but your main important totems like Ruin or Devour will definitely stay up. And I think that's the important thing, really. So, absolutely great perk. It's very iconic, and it's obviously been chosen for a reason. So yes. Next up, we have Hex Plaything, which is a Cenobite perk. I'm pretty sure this hasn't been on the shrine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it has been. But this is genuinely one of my favorite perks in the whole game. I use this with so many killers. It's just so much fun. Basically, every time you hook a survivor for the first time, they become cursed with Hex Plaything, and they also become oblivious. And they stay oblivious until their plaything totem gets cleansed. So basically, it gives them an objective to do. It gives them a secondary objective to get rescued, and then they have to go and find their totem, so they're not just permanently oblivious. Also, it shows the aura of their totem when they're within 60 meters, which means that they have to literally just go out and find it, and they won't be able to see which one it is until they're right next to it. And bonus feature, other survivors, can't cleanse the totem for the first 90 seconds, which is crazy good, because it means that the cursed survivor has to do it themselves, at least for the first 90 seconds, and then the others can do it for them. But honestly, this is such a great perk because it's a perk that literally gives the survivors something else to do. This is what like Pig's Power does, you know? You give them a bear trap, and the idea is to get them off gens because they need to get rid of their bear traps. This is the same thing, but as a perk, so you can basically just do this on any killer. Any killer who you struggle, like if they just get gens done quickly all the time, this is good to kind of slow that down, because even though not every survivor, you know, some survivors aren't fussed, some survivors will mainly just rely on others to just hopefully cleanse it for them. Some survivors will just go through it, the oblivious. But most people will want to get rid of that because depending on what killer you're playing, it can be really scary to be oblivious, you know, if you're playing against like a Bubba or an Oni or something. So, you know, it's cool. It's such like a unique hex perk because it's not really a traditional hex perk. It's more like an objective, really. You know, the other ones are always already there, but this one creates hex stones when you get hooks. So it's great. I love it. I just love this perk so much. I use it on so many killers. I just love it. And you can definitely tell when someone is affected by it, because sometimes you'll have survivors literally just walk into you and then they just run off because they're like, holy shit, it's the killer. Yeah, this one's brilliant. I absolutely love this one. Next up, we have Off the Record. I'm not surprised this one's here. This is his arena perk, and this is very good. Basically, once you get unhooked or you escape from the hook yourself, Off the Record activates, and you become... Well, basically, your aura doesn't get shown to the killer. Your grunts of pain are completely reduced, and you get the endurance status effect. So you get rescued, and for 80 seconds, you can tank a hit. You can't be shown by barbecue or anything like that, and you don't make any grunts of pain, which is very good, basically. Um, I think this works with like, not works, but like conspicuous actions. To be honest, I have not used off the record once, so I'm pretty sure that oh my god, conspicuous actions do disable it. So things like tapping a gen, healing, cleansing, things like that. So you have to kind of make sure that you're on the killer still or anything like that. Some people do work around off the record. You know, uh, some survivors make it very obvious that they have it, and they just run in front of you after they've been rescued, and they just stand there, and they know that if you hit them, then you'll just put them into deep wounds, basically. You can try and use Save the Best for Last. Is pretty good for this because if you've got a lot of stacks, you can just smack them to get deep wounds, but then you can immediately recover and chase them and just down them again. That's also an option, but yeah, do keep in mind this perk's quite annoying, and I can't really say a lot because, like I said, I haven't played with it at all because so many people use it, and I have played against it a fair amount, and it is annoying, but if you're the survivor, then yeah, it's very good. It's obviously very good. And finally, we have Flashbang, which is a Leon perk. This one has also not been in the shrine. I can guarantee that. Basically, this one, you get to use a flashbang, pretty much. You repair a generator for a bit, and then you hide in the locker when you're empty-handed, and you basically craft a flash grenade in the locker. And you can throw it down, it causes an explosion, it blinds the killer, and also survivors. Like, it can blind you yourself if you're looking at it. It can be used to distract. It can be used... Well, the main thing is for, like... when the killer is carrying somebody, because you have to throw it down. It's kind of the same sort of timing with like the firecrackers, from certain events and stuff. You basically throw it down and you have to wait, I think it's like 2 seconds or something, and then it explodes. The killer has to be looking at it, the killer has to be right in front of it and everything like that. So it's quite a hard perk to like pull off. It's easy to make and like activate because you only have to do 50% gen progress and then just go in a locker and make it. But I think actually using it is quite difficult. It's very, if you're not like used to like flashlight timings or even the firecracker timings, you'll probably struggle with this. I've used this perk a few times and I've only been able to pull off an actual flashbang like once or twice. It could be kind of difficult, but like I said, you can also use it as a distraction if you want because it makes a loud noise notification. So if you feel like you're not confident enough to like use it properly, you could try and use it as like a diversion, like the Pebble perk we talked about recently, where you can basically, hopefully, maybe distract the killer for a minute. It might not work, but at least you tried, I guess. Quite hard to pull off, but it's very fun, and it's pretty easy counterable, to be honest. It makes a noise, and if the survivors see you do it and they know you have it, they will go out of their way to avoid getting flashbanged, basically. In terms of which ones to buy, I would pretty much say all of these because these are all just great perks. They've been chosen for a reason. They're all very effective. Undying's good for... Actually, Undying and Plaything together go really well. Because... Actually, would they? Undying and Plaything. I don't know if it would or not, actually. But I would say Plaything can go with, like, Pentimento. That's the main thing. I forgot to mention that because Pentimento relies on destroying terms, and that's kind of difficult to pull off because a lot of survivors these days use boons. So I feel like this one's good because it will just replace dual tomes with hex tomes, and judging by the fact that survivors would probably want to get rid of a permanent oblivious, they will cleanse them, and then you can use that for Pentimento, if that makes sense. So that's always fun. But honestly, guys, any of these perks are great. They're all good in their own ways. They've obviously been chosen, so go all out. I wouldn't say there's like one that's better than the other. I'm kind of biased for Plaything because I just use it so much and I just love that perk. But Flashbang's fun as well. Dying's helpful. Off the record is strong, so it's up to your preference really. What you how you play and what you want to do and everything like that, basically. So guys, that did it from me. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you found this useful, and I'll see you in the next one.